Good morning, Year Ones. Welcome to your maths learning today with me, Miss Pope. Today, we're going to be starting a new chapter all about division. Division is the opposite of multiplication. We've already learnt about multiplication and our times tables, so now we're doing the opposite calculation, but all of that times table learning can help us. Today, we're going to be able to understand how to divide by making equal groups. Equal groups is something we've already learnt about with our times tables and multiplication learning. We're also going to be able to determine how many groups will be created. Today, we are grouping to find the answer to division problems. This is where we know the size of each group, but we don't know how many groups we're going to have all together once we've finished. We'll explore this more in our In Focus task. Our In Focus task says, Emma puts 2 cans of tomato soup into a box. 1, 2. How many boxes does she need for all of the cans of soup? I wonder if you can discuss this with somebody at home. And think about these questions as you do. Can she put more than 2 cans into a box now that she's already put 2 into this one? If she does put more than 2 cans into a different box, will her groups be equal? What does equal mean again? Talk to somebody at home about this and pause the video. Now, if Emma has already filled one box with 2 cans of soup in, really she needs to make sure all of the boxes have 2 cans of soup in them. Because if you remember, one of our objectives today was to be able to solve division problems by making equal groups. We already have a group of 2, so we need to make some more groups of 2 until all of the cans of soup have been used up. There's another group of 2. Here's a group of 2. There's a group of 2. There's no cans left over, and I can see all of those groups are equal. So how many boxes must Emma have needed? Well, to know this, we need to count up the groups of 2. 1 group of 2, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 groups of 2, so Emma needs 4 boxes altogether. We can see here, Emma had 8 cans. She grouped them into boxes of 2, and she has 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes altogether. She still has 8 cans of soup. 2, 4, 6, 8. Just she has sorted them into equal groups. It says here, 8 cans grouped into 2s gives us 4 boxes. Emma needs 4 boxes. There are 4 boxes of 2 cans. Now we can write this as a number sentence. We had 8 cans. We grouped them into 2s. 8, this means grouped into 2s, gives us 4 boxes. So we know that 8 divided by 2 makes 4. Let's have a look at some more grouping problems so we can practice this a little bit more. Here we have 12 flowers. Lulu wants to use 3 flowers to make each of her bouquets. A bouquet is a fancy word for a bunch of flowers. If Lulu puts 3 flowers into each bouquet, how many bouquets will she have at the end? Well, I'm going to make one bouquet. 1, 2, 3 flowers. That's one bouquet. But we've only used 3 flowers, not all 12 of them. I wonder if you could have 12 objects and see if you can group them into threes and see how many groups you will have. Pause the video to explore this. Now I've made one bouquet of flowers, but I still have some flowers left over, so I'm not quite finished. I'm going to make another bouquet of flowers. I know I'm allowed 1, 2, 3 in each bouquet. There's still some flowers left. I've only used 6 so far. Let's make another bouquet. 1, 2, 3. Still some flowers left. 1, 2, 3. I've used them all up. All of my bouquets I can see are equal. They all have 3 flowers in each of the bunches. How many bouquets have I made? That's right, I've made 4 bouquets altogether. So Lulu must get 4 bouquets. We can see there are 12 flowers altogether. If you use 3 flowers in each bouquet, you can make 4 bouquets, just like Lulu did. We can use a number sentence to represent this again. 12 flowers grouped into threes gives us 4 bouquets. Here's another one for us to try. There are 4 books here. Hannah puts the books into piles, and in each pile she puts 2 books. How many piles of books does she get? You need 4 books and you need to put them into piles of 2. Can you see how many piles you can make? Pause the video to do this, and I wonder if you could even challenge yourself to write the number sentence that matches what you've done. So I've got 4 books. I'm going to make piles of 2. 1, 2. That's one pile of 2. 1, 2. I have another pile of 2. I've used up all of my 4 books. I have 2 piles. Did you have 2 piles at home? So Hannah can make 2 piles of books. Now there are 4 books altogether. If you put them into piles of 2, you will have 2 piles. So 4 books grouped into piles of 2 gives us 2 piles of books. 4 put into groups of 2 means we have 2 groups altogether. Now I wonder if you could have a go at this activity at home. You need to count 24 counters or objects at home. Can you put 3 counters onto each plate or group at home? So you need 24 things and you need to put them into groups of 3. How many groups can you make if you were to put 24 things into groups of 3? I wonder then if you could see any other ways that you could make equal groups with 24 items. Can you make equal groups of 2 using your 24 items? Maybe you could make equal groups of 5. Investigate and then think about why you think this is. You'll need to pause the video here and spend as long or as little amount of time on this activity as you need to. Can you challenge yourself to write the number sentences that match what you have done? Here is our guided practice. Now, we can see Ravi has 18 pencils all together. He puts 6 pencils into each box. So how many boxes does Ravi need? Now we know we need to group those pencils into groups of 6. My friend said that when she sees 6 pencils, she circles them to help her find the answer. Can you see a group of 6 on the board looking at the pencils that we can see in the array? Of course, I can see a group of 6 going across a row. So what I might do to help me, just like my friend suggested, is draw a circle around one of the groups of 6. I've grouped 6 pencils into that group. I can see another group of 6. And I can see another group of 6. Now all of those pencils have been put into groups. Do you agree? They have. How many groups can you see? Well, I can see I've drawn 1, 2, 3 circles. My circles represent the groups, so I must need 1, 2, 3 boxes. You can use this strategy to help you with your independent learning today. For your worksheets, you're going to be grouping the items to find the answers. You're trying to find out how many groups there will be altogether. So, here there are 12 fish. First, you need to circle groups of 2. Once you've put a circle around the fish in groups of 2, you then need to see how many groups you've made and pop your answer in the box. Then do the same for the second question. There are 16 whales. Circle groups of 4. Put 4 whales into each group. How many groups do you have? You are doing the same thing for each of the questions. Grouping the 14 birds into groups of 7. Grouping the pelicans into 5s. And then you're having a go at some of the word problems. Here it says, Emma buys 15 flowers. She puts 3 flowers in each vase. So how many vases does she need? Well, the vase becomes the group, and we know there are 3 in each vase, so you need to put them into groups of 3 to find your answer. I wonder if you could figure out what to do for the next one. Similarly, there are some more word problems on the last page. Have a really good go at these problems, grouping them into equal groups and seeing how many groups you make altogether. Once you've finished your worksheets, if you would like to challenge yourself, you could then have a go at some of the extension challenges on the screen. Here, it says how many equal groups of 2 can you make with the mittens? So you need to count up your mittens and put them into groups of 2. Could you then finish the sentence that's written here? Then think about, if you had 10 mittens, how many equal groups of 2 mittens could you make now? As an extra challenge, I have put this question down here. We know 20 is double 10. So how many groups of 2 do you think you will have now? So once you've worked out how many groups of 2 you will have when you have 10 mittens, how many do you think you have when you have 20 mittens, if we already know that 20 is double 10? See if you can explain your reasoning about what you think. For your second extension, you need 20 cubes or objects, and you need to try and complete the sentences. You need to try and make equal groups of 2, equal groups of 5, and equal groups of 10 using those 20 cubes. And then I've asked why you think you can make equal groups of 2, 5 and 10 using 20 cubes or items. Could you then investigate whether or not you can make equal groups of 3? Why or why not? And for your last extension challenge, could you have a go at the problems at completing the table? There are how many things altogether? There are how many equal groups of how many? So here I can see there are 2, 4, 6 altogether. There are 1, 2, 3 equal groups of 2. Can you have a go at completing the table for the rest of the missing parts? We hope you enjoy your home learning today and challenge yourselves as much as you can. Please send us any of your home learning this week to the Key Stage 1 email address. We can't wait to see what you get up to. We'll see you again later in the week. Take care. Bye-bye.